you guys. Thank you guys for being here. How are you all today? Let's see. Hey Larry, hey Peaky, hey Pointer Lover, hey Teresa, hey Meg, hey Trap Mafia, hey Eddie, hey Carla, Pointer Lover, which I already said. Hey Vicky, hey Angela, Space Cake, Larry, Struggle is Real, Jeannie, Web Weaver, Pratt Mommy, Shakes Her Fist, hey Preschool Granny, hey Yorkie, hey Mark, thank you. Thank you for being here. Hey Yorkie, hope you had a nice Mother's Day weekend. I hope you guys did too. I took yesterday off. I didn't do anything on my channel. I did go on Melissa Jade's for a little bit just to chat, but yeah, it was nice to take a day just with the kids and stuff, you know. Hey Magenta Trauma, hey Mrs. O, hey Mama Miller, hey Elizabeth, Angel Eyes, Heathen. Okay, you guys, I found a lot of stuff that's very interesting. Hey Meatfoot, hey Ava. I'll take 2 hellos. Hey 7 of us. Let me turn off that background music. I don't even know where to start because I found a lot. I was going through his old social media, Jesse McFadden's Twitter, his recent tweets. I found his Twitch. We got a lot to look at. So let me just go ahead and pull up my little folder and we're going to go through. I've been grabbing stuff since Sunday night. See, and then I just send it to myself. I've got a few different videos and TikToks I want us to look at. I found a woman who worked with Holly who was using her TikTok to stand up for her, and she kind of changed her tune a little bit. Like I said, I found some of his social media. I want to show you guys his Twitter. It is quite disturbing. We're not even going to be able to look at everything because it is so bad. And like this was one of the things I found on there, and I posted this on the community page. This is him, March of 2022, trying to get somebody to come visit him in Okmulgee. So they've deleted their tweet, and I don't blame them, probably after all of this happened. And you see Jesse say, very sexy. I'm in the Okmulgee area. You should hit me up for a meet sometime. And then he says it's south of Tulsa, which it's just eerie to see all of that. But we'll just start at the beginning, the first things I grabbed, and work our way through. There is a lot of good information in these videos and these TikToks and different things. So buckle up, baby. But we got a lot to talk about. Let me see what you guys say. I gotta switch us over first. Okay. Oh, Alyssa, welcome. Thank you for joining. Hey, Stan the Man. Oh, thank you. Hey, Avery. Hey, Stephanie. Oh, hey, Jin Lu. Hey, CJ. Thank you guys for being here. Is it morning time in America? Yes. So, it's on the East Coast. It just turned noon, 12:06. Okay. We're going to start with this and work our way through, because we got some lots to get through.
On a light Lamborghini is because the fastest way that I found to stick.
Also this evening, we are back on the case, learning more about this man, Jesse McFadden.
He's accused of murdering his wife, her children, and 2 teens at a sleepover at his home before killing himself. Before was the television station when the Webster family walked through the McFadden's home. Inside, Ivy's cell phone hidden in a cabinet.
3 other phones also found, along with laptops and drug paraphernalia.
Okay, you guys, just a view that I hadn't seen so close up before, just pausing to take a look. Okay.
This video prompting days to take over the case, but there was something else inside that home.
Hundreds of pages of letters and journal entries written to McFadden's second victim, the only one he was going on trial for sexting.
News Force Kaylee Olivas with details.
I'm surprised that he kept these letters, but tons and tons of letters from his victim that he met when he was in prison.
The burning question we've seen most people ask is, where was Jesse McFadden's probation officer? Oklahoma's Department of Corrections tells us he didn't have, and that's because he wasn't on probation. He was required to check in every 90 days with the Okmulgee County Sheriff's Office, but a county investigator compared those checks to playing darts.
Still confused. Still a lot of answers that need to be given.
Jesse McFadden was convicted of rape and sentenced to 20 years in 2003. During his time, he was put on what's called a level 4, meaning he had, quote, outstanding behavior. That is until 2016 when he was caught with a cell phone authorities say he used to sext a teenage girl. The following year, he was charged.
He had outstanding behavior, which we've looked at some before, and I have his records that I can pull up. He was still getting in trouble the whole time. If you guys weren't here the other day, we stumbled across a tweet from a local reporter who had pulled up his records from being in jail and all the times that he'd gotten in trouble or got caught in the act, doing sexual stuff or all the different things he did. I just don't understand this.
With child porn, and his inmate status dropped to level 1. Only 5 months later, he was back on good terms. But at the same time, writing that same teenager letters from jail. This exclusive video shows copies of letters and journal entries, about 200 pages worth, found in McFadden's home last week. The victim told News 4 off camera she must have been 15 or 16 when McFadden wrote these. In the letters, McFadden told her how much he loved her and wanted to make her his wife. He also mentioned the sexual acts he would perform on her. Written in almost every letter, this quote, "I'm doing everything to get out sooner." McFadden went on to complete 85% of his sentence, which is required by the state. And after 17 years, and with his good credits, he was released, despite still facing a child porn charge. McFadden wasn't on probation. He did have to check in with the Okmulgee Sheriff's Office every 3 months. The DOC claims he was compliant with this, but a sheriff's investigator has painted a different picture.
So who is supposed to be checking on the sexual offender?
It's public record. It's everywhere.
So nobody's supposed to come and do checks?
We do compliance checks, but it's like so hard. See which one we're going to do because that's all we have the resources to do.
Your video is undeniable. It's undeniable.
And this is the family attorney of Ivy Webster's family.
That you blew it.
News 4 reached out to Okmulgee County Sheriff's Office for a detailed record of McFadden's compliance checks, but we haven't heard back, all while a pending child porn charge that took 3 years for a trial date to be set.
The story from District Attorney's Office is that, one, they got caught up into, they had a prosecutor break an ankle. That delayed the trial. Then the pandemic happened.
Cameron Spradling, the attorney for Ivy Webster's family, also claims a defense attorney in McFadden's case died from COVID. Finally, on the day the trial is supposed to start, McFadden killed 6 people, then himself. And according to NBC.
Okay, you guys. Hey, Batty. Jeannie, first of all violent offenders need to serve more time than they get and need to serve 100% of their time. Secondly, this guy should have been held until his new charges sent to trial. He absolutely should have. Hey, David. Hey, CJ. Okay, so, hey, Batty. Let me show you guys what I've got next. Let's see. We got a few things. First, we'll just pull up the next video I got, which was I grabbed yesterday afternoon. I think this is the girl that we've been talking about, one of his victims that he met in jail.
I think yesterday was probably one of the worst days of my life.
A victim who was set to testify against her alleged abuser speaking out now that she will never get to see him in court. I'm Shay Rossi.
And I'm Sarah Whaley. Glad you're with us here at 10. We told you convicted rapist Jesse McFadden, you see right there, his body is believed to be one of the 7 found on his property in Henrietta yesterday. The families of the 6 innocent victims believe that McFadden killed all 6 before killing himself.
Fox 23's crime victory reporter Abigail Dye spoke to the woman who was set to go to trial against McFadden yesterday. Here she is with her Fox 23 exclusive.
So this video is old. This came out right after the murders. However, I hadn't seen it until yesterday. We've heard a lot about this victim. We know the story. We know how they met, and we know how things happened, and that they were about to go to trial, and it had been pushed off for 6 years. Well, 6 years, 2017 to 2023. But I hadn't actually seen her personally talking about it.
Shay, if you remember my coverage last night, I showed you some of these text messages that this victim says McFadden sent her Sunday night. That's the night before this trial was set for. And I'll show you them here. I'll read a couple. He says, "I did exactly what I promised I would do. And I made a great life like I promised I would with you. Now it's all gone. I told you I wouldn't go back. This is all on you for continuing this." Now she says these chilling messages make sense.
Hey, Aunt B. Hey, Queen Olive. So we've went over these messages. Remember, these are the messages he sent right before this happens. He wasn't going back to prison.
7 bodies were found on this property of Jesse McFadden, a convicted rapist. He's believed to be one of the 7 found, while the families of the 6 victims confirmed them to be 14-year-old Ivy Webster, 16-year-old Brittany Brewer, 34-year-old Holly McFadden, Jesse's wife, and her 3 kids, 17-year-old Riley Allen, 15-year-old Michael Mayo, and 13-year-old Tiffany Guess. McFadden was a convicted rapist who allegedly sexted a 15-year-old girl, Caitlin Babb, while he was in prison.
I was groomed and that I was abused. I mean, I feel horrible. It makes you feel terrible, like you're not even human.
Babb says her case was set to start trial on Monday.
I was prepared and I was ready. I've been ready for 6 years.
But McFadden was a no-show, and the gruesome news broke.
It was terrible. Especially when it's something that could have been prevented and it could have happened.
That's something Holly McFadden's mom, Jeanette Mayo, agrees with. Do you feel like this tragedy was preventable?
My daughter could have been alive, and my grandchildren could have been alive had Oklahoma done their due diligence and kept him behind bars.
Babb says something needs to change so this doesn't happen again.
100%, this is a failure on our justice system. And this is a huge failure on their part. This is something that they could have stopped. This never had to happen.
You guys weren't here the other day. We mapped out the crime scene, Wolfie and I, based on news footage and what the police said during the press conference. You don't want to miss that. It's very interesting where they were found. And actually, we used part of this to make sense of that, this trail right here and where they're parked back here next to the creek. But let me see, because they did an overhead shot that was kind of interesting before we move on, because we have a lot to look at. I can't believe that he was as active as he was on social media, but he was quite active. Okay, so let's see here. So the back here, they were found, it's hard to look from this angle, but way back there by the creek. But yeah, if you missed that video, you definitely want to go back. So let me grab our next thing we're going to look at. Actually, first what I'll do is I'm going to pull up his Twitch, which he has deleted. It says that he's been live on there 4 months ago. He has deleted that, but here's his Twitch, last live 4 months ago. Just a country boy from Oklahoma. Have fun meeting new people and playing games. New to streaming, learning the ropes. I'm open to suggestions and tips. Help is appreciated. I play mostly Call of Duty and Warzone with some role-playing games and other genres thrown in the mix. Mostly daily 3 to 12 when able. Times change. So he was streaming. He was last live 4 months ago. But there's everything else is gone. I'm not familiar with Twitch anyway, so I don't know a lot about it, like if they automatically save or what. But he was streaming on there. That is just insane to me. Hey, Callie. Okay, so then let me show you his Twitter. And warning, you guys, we're not going to look at everything. There are some very graphic things. But I think it's important that we look at what we can, because yeah, I mean, you know what? I don't think he's even allowed to have these social media accounts. At least in West Virginia, and every state is different, but I know in the state of West Virginia, if you're a sex offender, you're not supposed to have Facebook or other social media. So I don't know. It's really interesting. So here's his Twitter. Let me check on. Hold on. I dropped something, and then I want to check on you guys before we go on. The most broken part of our justice system is the prison and probation and parole sections. Most criminals know exactly how to manipulate the system. Most only serve 1 month for every year of sentence. Oh my God. And that's not surprising to me, because it's kind of like a lot of criminals are addicts too. And you guys know I'm in recovery. I'm not judging addicts, but when you're in active addiction, you are highly manipulative. That's just the truth about it. It is so awful, Callie. Wisconsin, you can't have any social media. Interesting. He shouldn't have social media. Should have been on parole. Yeah, Sarah. Yep, that's what he said. Okay, so in his Twitch, I'm going to have to, or his Twitter, I mean. These are his tweets. He has one right here. Been working on the website for the CBD lotion company, turning out good so far. Check it out at holidayshop.com. We'll be taking orders soon. And then he tags the shop and the Instagram, which I actually hadn't looked at. So let's take a look. It says the Instagram page isn't available. The link may be broken. That's interesting. Now let me do the website link. This domain has expired as well. Okay, interesting. But we have looked at the Facebook page before. It's called Which Way. So, yeah, let's see. Now, hold on a sec, because I've got to take it off for just a second, because I want to show you some of his likes. But I have to be careful what I show, because some of them are just so graphic. Okay, one sec. I gotta make sure I know where to pause. Okay. So these are his likes, right? And remember, he plays games. So he likes this one tweet about some stakes. It's like a PR package from Call of Duty to some gamer. He likes some tweets about fighting. We're in December of 2022. November of 2022. He's sharing some pictures of these tatted guys. He likes Elon Musk posts about Twitter and advertisement and stuff like that. Then he likes this little girl, or a girl. I have to go home today, but I don't want to leave. Then I have to be careful. Her name is Bunny, okay? She looks about 13. She doesn't have bottoms on. So we're going to stop right there. But this is just one of many little girls that he was liking their photos on Twitter. It is absolutely disgusting and disturbing. This man who is out of jail early on good behavior is he's not hiding. Look at the damn Twitter. It's Jesse McFadden, his name. I mean, I cannot get over it. It is, Probation is a joke. It's about money. As long as they make their meetings, pay their fines, they will never go back unless they commit a violent crime. They can commit less serious crimes all day. Hey, Tammy. I know, you guys. I cannot believe when I saw this, I was like, holy God. Yeah, it's on Twitter. Now I'm going to switch over back to this tab for a minute just so I can try to show you a couple more without showing you the graphic stuff. The same bunny account, there's a topless photo with her hands over her nips, but, you know, topless. Then this same little girl, she's not, you know, this is clothed, but it's still very provocative, like this. Okay. Hold on, I'm going to click back. I have to only show you guys. It's just that bad. Then just a little girl's butt in lace underwear. This teenager outfit check. Look at this girl, you guys. Tell me she don't look 13 years old. Doing an outfit check, and he's on there liking it. Unbelievable. And this is July 11th, 2022. Yeah, it's disgusting. Hey, Jane Doe. Twitter suspends accounts all the time for absolutely nothing. He invited girls to his grumpy. I know. I saw that, and I found some this morning and actually showed one part before we started of him replying to someone, and I'll show you guys. Then another one of the little girl dancing, shaking her butt. I'm not going to show that. Another one of her in her underwear. Then another girl that I can't see because my settings, but she looks young. Then this little girl in a classroom. Look at this. This little girl on a desk in like a school uniform outfit. He liked that one. He is disturbing, you guys. Oh, my God. And he was made. Yeah. Yep. So let me go back here. Just want to see it. I want to be able to show you guys some, but I can't show you everything. Then he has, he likes this one girl's post where she talks, she's 19. She talks about what kind of things that she's into. Then a video of this little like teenage girl up her skirt. More young girls and like bikini type stuff. Then the interesting thing are his last 3 likes were kind of odd. It was this IGC Consultants government spending. Then it was another IGC Consultants Women's History Month. And then IGC Consultants. So I don't really know about that. He had a complete disregard for any authority. What a vile human being. We can see a prison from our house. It is filled with pedos like this. Oh, my God. She doesn't look 13 to me. See, she looks like a kid. See, I think she does. To me, she looks young. She's an e-girl. Okay, she looks young, but she's of age. Not to take up for the dude. He's definitely sick, and she looks 12. No, they didn't take it down. Nope. All out in the open on Twitter. I know. Unbelievable. Hey, Amy. Good to see you. Listening at my desk. That's funny. Okay, let's see. Hey, Roxanne. I hate that kind of stuff is allowed on social media for pervs to view. Parents need to pay attention to what their kids are doing on the internet. Oh, I agree. I mean, no, he didn't pose them like that. I'm just saying this is what he's interested in and openly liking on social media as a violent offender who SOO, sexual offender, period. That is just unbelievable to me. How was this not, I don't know. Oh, my neighbor's dog is over here. Hold on a sec. Let me switch back because the last thing we're going to look at are his replies. And this is where you'll see him luring people to him. And I showed this at the beginning, but let me see. So he says, I'm in the Okmulgee area. You should hit me up for a meet sometime. And I actually did click on that, and the person has deleted their tweets. Hold on just a sec. But there's another one. Hit me up. I'm in Okmulgee area and would love to play. So he was, he was just, yeah. This is why that they shouldn't have social media, because look what they do with it, period. Okay. Now we're going to go to some TikToks I found very interesting. There's a lady on here who worked with Holly, who was standing up for Holly, and a few other ones. And I guess we'll just start, because I just like grab them as I see them and throw them in, so I don't remember exactly what they were. I do know this one is just Ashley Banfield going through the missing kids in the area, but it is concerning. These are all kids who went missing after he was out of jail.
That you see scrolling on your screen right now are missing children in Oklahoma. And we've only chosen the missing children who have gone missing since Jesse McFadden was let out of prison in November of 2020. So for the entire time that I'm going to discuss this next segment, you will see these children and their names and their faces and their ages. They are all missing. This came to us from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. The curious thing is why were these kids not top of mind when they found that horrible sex chamber? Why did they not think it was possible, maybe even probable, given that Jesse McFadden murdered his entire family and 2 kids on a sleepover? And then he had all of that sex paraphernalia and dungeon-like equipment in his home. Why is it not plausible that maybe one of these kids may have been there? Maybe one of these kids may have died there. Lynn Wyatt is the aunt of.
So as she's scrolling through I just wanted you guys to see all of the missing kids in the area. Mark Milligan, just think how many fake accounts he likely used. This is another thing I was thinking about. There are accounts that we don't know about and haven't seen. I believe that fully, because the webcams and the tripods, and I don't know what he was doing there, but I have a feeling there are recordings somewhere, and that is scary. Can you imagine if your baby is one of these babies and you know that there might be recordings of them out there on the internet? A couple years ago, I did a series with a young lady's mom, Bianca Devins. She had her life taken, and the guy who was obsessed with her put pictures after he killed her of her all over the internet. And her family, still from time to time accidentally run across those photos. I just can't imagine the fear of what might be out there like that. That's Hey, Nicole. Wolfie, we know. How could H subject her children to him? I don't care if she loved him. Her kids should come first. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I think we just have to wait and see, because I'm not sure. I don't know. Okay, we got other ones to look through, but let me go grab them real fast. First, I'm going to play this because we talked about this briefly the other day, or is it? Yeah. This is all the violations that he got in prison before he, if he was still in there like he should have been, this would have never happened. He would still be in there right now. That's one of the worst parts of all of this. So I'm not even going to play the video. Actually, they have it listed out. And we talked about this briefly the other day. But so these are the 10 violations he had while in Department of Corrections custody. March of 2004, he was caught with tobacco. June 2005, possession of cigarettes. November 2005, he ups it a little bit, tested positive for THC. January 2007, out of cell during lockdown. February 2009, sexual activity. January 2010, sexual activity. February 2010, battery of another person. And if I'm not mistaken, what I've heard is that may have also been of some sort of sexual nature. September 2013, possession of a cell phone. July 2016, one possession of a cell phone, and then the law violation, which I'm assuming that's the charge of the child pornography. You get all of this trouble and you still get out on good behavior. I'm sorry, but I don't think this man should have ever been released. He was sick and perverted and twisted. And while he was in trouble for sexual crimes, he was still committing sexual crimes on not only inmates, but teenagers who accidentally text the phone he has in there. I mean, what a predator. And opportunistic too, you know. Hey, Jesse, happy belated Mother's Day. We miss you too. Yeah, he got points for good hygiene. Exactly. And that helped him get out early. It's unbelievable. I'm so sorry. Unique trauma. Oh, you haven't? Happy hippie? Oh my God. I did a live the other day where we mapped out the crime scene. That would be like the one, I think, if you want to go back and look at some stuff, definitely look at that because it's very interesting. Not only what victims, the manner of death was, well, you know, they were all shot. They all had gunshot wounds, but there were different number of gunshot wounds on each particular victim. And they were they were staged according to police, and in a really peculiar way. So, hey, Angie, good to see you. There is so much that could be on all of the equipment at his house. I know. Okay, so now let me show you guys. Like I said, I found a lady who actually worked with Holly. I found a few people on a few TikToks we're going to watch. So we'll just start with this one. Hold on. Let me see.
You deserve this. An amazing person, and she didn't deserve this. None of them deserved it.
Today, Henrietta said goodbye to Brittany Brewer, one of 6 killed in the mass murder-suicide that sent shockwaves far beyond the town. The 15-year-old was carried through the streets on a horse-drawn carriage as friends and family remembered the young girl and the future ripped from her.
Brittany was outgoing. She loved kids. She wanted to be a teacher.
My favorite memory of Brittany was when we did a job together. She got really, really disgusted with the fact that I would just pick up this mud and leaves with my hands and throw it on the ground. And yeah, she was a really good person.
Last Monday, a missing and endangered person alert was sent through the state for Brittany and Ivy Webster. Hours later, the world would learn the horrors that happened outside that Henrietta home at the hands of a convicted child rapist. Brittany's obituary describes her as service-minded. She was a member of the school choir and very active in church. Brittany's funeral took place this morning at Henrietta High School before the horse-drawn carriage took her to her final resting place. We will continue pushing for answers and more questions.
Horse-drawn carriage. Okay, so let me get the next one because there's, like I said, there's quite a few I want to show you guys. Well, not quite a few, maybe like 5 or something. Okay, now this is the woman.
We're learning more.
So I'm still in a state of shock.
This is a woman who claims to know Holly. Okay, she has 2 videos, I think, on the case. I'll have to go to her profile after this one and show you guys the second one because I didn't save it. That's kind of my plan. I just thought it was interesting to hear from people who know them that we hadn't, you know, that's not widely being shown or talked about.
We're learning more.
So I'm still in a state of shock. These were my coworkers.
Among them,
We all
police
work
say two
remotely.
teenage girls recently
Holly
reported
was on
missing,
my team
along
and I
with the
trained
bodies of
her.
39-year-old convicted
All she ever
rapist
talked
Jesse
about were
McFadden,
her
his
kids.
wife, and 3 children.
And I've been very quick to jump to her defense, particularly.
Oh my goodness, struggle is real. Thank you. That is so unbelievably kind. Thank you so much. That's really sweet. I appreciate that so much. Man, thank you.
Before any details surface, but after seeing the inside of that home today, which I will make sure I get on here somewhere, I'll post it next.
Brittany and Ivy didn't come
But
home. And Amber
there's
issue.
no way
It was
that,
so hard.
in my mind, she could have not known
I get that point
the
of
depth
view.
and
What
severity.
they say they didn't know was that McFadden had been released from
I'll
prison
wait
in
for
2020
toxicology and
after
every
serving
detail
17
before I
years of a
form a
20-year
final
sentence for
opinion.
rape.
But it's
He never
obvious
did
that
anything
these children
personally
were
where we
failed
like,
on every level. There were
no,
so
we had no idea.
many
Now the girls'
points
parents
where this
are
could have
pushing
been
for
prevented.
change.
Any second that I
It's
can
sick.
to save some other children,
His whole
make
family's
a change
sick.
is what I want to do. And
There's
if I can
so
tell
many
Ivy's
details
story,
coming
tell
to
our
light
story,
that are just
and get our government
disgustingly
officials and
disturbing.
everybody to start
Obviously,
speaking
look
up
what we're
loud
dealing
and
with.
keeping these pedophiles
A
in jail.
complete waste of human flesh and oxygen that I'm glad he's
Says
rotting
he
in
never
hell.
should have been released from prison.
I pray for the families of these victims. God bless them. I
Still entangled with the law. He was due
can't
in
even
court Monday,
comprehend
the day the body
what they're
was found,
going through.
on child
Because
porn
even as a
and other
coworker,
charges.
I couldn't sleep for 2 nights.
His family didn't know about it.
Wow, is that not crazy?
Just
until
too
just a
much.
few months
Too
ago.
much.
She did post on, I think she's taken down a video or two based on what she said, because this is the one we just watched, right? And then this is the next one. But she claims like she was basically coming to stand up for Holly, but had changed her mind. It was
Where the state authorities actually
kind of interesting. But here's the other one.
with excavators and
This is just me officially retracting anything I have said to defend this person that I worked with and could never imagine capable of such
more victims,
horrendous,
possibly
horrific, demonic
bodies,
activity.
and evidence about the white
I retract it all, especially rest in peace.
Well, it's possible
Never
now that
rest.
Holly may have been involved.
Do whatever you do.
Evidence collected
Be
at the
tortured in
scene
hell.
much later
I'm
than police
so
had left it and opened it back up to the
just
public.
shook. I'm shook.
Evidence now
This
collected
evidence,
shows she may
more
have an
people,
integral role
toddler,
in the
blood-soaked
abuse of
clothing,
other children, other victims who may still
all the
come to light.
witchcraft books, that's got to tie
We have
into it.
exclusive
This
videos
meth
that were
thing.
shot by a family
People
member
are
and
so
turned over to us
repulsive.
on
I don't
the
know what's
Mansfield team.
happening to
We're gonna
this
show you
planet,
tonight
but
of some of the evidence that was collected and some of the activity
God be
on the
with those
ranch
children.
yesterday and
And
today.
if there's anyone
The Oklahoma
other
State
than the other children's
investigators
parents that
coming out
actually cared to be
and
with
looking
them,
into
at this
containers on
point,
the property,
who do you trust?
These on the property.
Who do you
You'll have to
trust? They had nobody.
apologize for the grainy nature of this video,
Nobody.
but this was shot where the state authorities actually there with excavators.
Yorkie, I think you're right. She probably did take down some support videos. I agree, Kelly. Everything. Oh, thank you, Unique Trauma. I got to see that. That is infuriating. Okay, let me see. So you guys, we still got a few more to look at, but I was just going to tell you, a long time ago on TikTok, I covered this case. Actually, I was requested to cover it by a family member, well, a friend and family member of this woman who had been missing. And recently, one of her kids reached out to me and said that she had done a podcast and she was trying to bring attention to the case. Her mom's case doesn't get any coverage. Anyways, I'm going to bring her on within the next few days or something. And if you guys can join me for that, I would so appreciate it, because yeah, it would mean a lot to her, especially she reached out and asked for help. So I want to be, I don't know. I want to try to help if I can. So keep your eyes out for that. I agree. No matter what the details are, this must be exposed or nothing will change. Hey, Danielle. Hey, Roberta. Was it echoing? It's my fault. I didn't mute, but if it usually StreamYard's shifty. Okay, so this is a person who knew Holly and said just wanted to make this video for her to show how amazing of a person she was. Holly was a tiny thing, short and full. Oh no, you mean the double audio. I'm sorry, right in the middle of that. I thought the double audio in that video, but okay. She was short and full of life, huge personality, and her high-pitched voice always made you smile. Knowing now, I wish I would have kept in touch. Holly, her children, Ivy and Brittany, didn't deserve it. Now, remember, her coworker just said she talked about her kids all the time, but this was just someone who knew her before. I'm not going to play the music because I probably shouldn't. Holly and I were friends in school. We lost touch after. She was the sweetest, kindest soul you'd ever meet, she said. Such a heartbreaking situation. And then Holly Mayo, daughter of Michael and Janet Mayo, shows her school photo. Oh, it was a TikTok. Okay, sorry about that. Hey, Amanda. Oh, I thought I already said hi to you, but in case I didn't. Okay, now let me see what our next one is. I just think it's interesting and want you guys to see when we find people that knew them and stuff speaking out, you know? Okay, so this is an account that was created basically just for the case on TikTok. I just thought this was interesting because we've been talking about the misinformation in the case. And I've told you guys the families are kind of saying different things, which is making it even more confusing because you're getting misinformation from the news, from all angles, really. But this is just a video about that from this account. So let me show you guys.
Comment on the misinformation. To tell you the truth, I was there the first day with Holly's aunt. None of those items were found on that first day. And as far as the second day, if those items were found, as she stated, OSBI met them there at the house and they would have collected those items unless she tried to hold evidence as she did the first day. She found 5 phones, kept them in her trunk, and refused to give them to the sheriff's office until I brought them up. So as far as those other items that she claims she's found, I confirmed that is negative.
I am curious that she would be inviting her own niece, and it would seem strange that she would go on national television and reveal information that was clearly against the interest of her own family.
But the thing is, Banfield twisted what she said. When she asked a question and we hear her answer, like about the handwriting, whose handwriting was it? Lynn says, basically, she doesn't answer. She doesn't know. She's not sure. But then Ashley goes on to say it's Holly's handwriting, you know, and then we hear from Tia, who compared it with Jesse McFadden's writing from his letters, that it appears to be his handwriting. It's just tough with all of this misinformation, but these claims that he made are concerning. I gotta say, I don't know. I don't know.
Do you have any ideas as to why that might happen?
I have no idea why, but all I can tell you is that I've already confirmed some of these things with the agent, and it is exactly what I told you.
Ashley, may
Justin
I
Webster.
make a comment?
Yes, quick.
Make a comment. Tell me what you've ever heard of a mass shooting in this nation where law enforcement hasn't done a press conference and talked to the community, talked to the state, and explain the results of their investigation. None of that has taken place in Oklahoma.
I'm with you. I have been confounded from the beginning on this, Cameron Spradling. I can't answer it, and I think our viewers are livid as well. And Justin Webster, I am so sorry for what you and your family have gone through.
Vicky, no. So the bearded guy is Ivy's dad, and he's been, pretty vocal and all over talking about the case. Okay, so now I want to show you guys some stuff about, because remember, he was supposed to be checking in every 90 days. We did see the paperwork of where they came and did the check on his house, where we see the kids listed on there as stepchildren and stuff like that. So this is just a quick video I found on that. Hold on just a sec. Do I need to message Ashley? What would we ask her? Okay.
This was started by the McFadden case and just wondering who was in my area.
When Tulsa mom Michelle Bales went searching for a sex offender registry, she thought it would be a simple Google search.
There's a bunch of different sites, but there's nothing that's concrete.
There are multiple sites to find a sex offender database in your area. The Oklahoma Department of Corrections, local law enforcement sites, Tulsa Police and Tulsa County Sheriff's Office each have their own list. The national sex offender site run by the Department of Justice, citydata.com, and the site familywatchdog.us. And guess what? None of them are consistent.
For me, I had the time and I sat down and I started doing research. A lot of people don't have
None
that.
of them are consistent. Oh.
I checked myself and verified her claims. Multiple names that show up on the Tulsa County website, for example, don't show up on the DOC website. Family Watchdog's site pulls up dozens of sex offenders registered at one Tulsa hotel. The DOJ's website pulls up one offender for that same address. Bales was concerned sex offenders could use hotels for an address. She also noticed several offenders used businesses. Tulsa County Sheriff's Deputy David Williams says that could be because they don't have a permanent address. Tulsa police were unable for comment. Williams says his office conducts quarterly compliance checks, but was surprised to learn sites weren't unified. If that can't be addressed, he suggests taking the time to research.
It's your neighborhood, it's your kids, it's your family, it's your friends. Be as thorough as possible. I mean, that's the best recommended advice I can give somebody.
Williams says the offender.
Wow. Interesting way he said that, huh? I mean, that's true, but it's just an interesting way he said that. Okay, so here is the court records. His court records, okay? Even the marriage license, which I did get a screenshot of, but I didn't upload it. We have Jesse McFadden in Pittsburgh County. In February of 2003, he was in trouble for doing 98 and a 70. Then we have him in October of 2003, driving while license is suspended. And then again in August of 2003. 2002, they're not in order. We have possession of alcohol by a person under the age of 21. 2003, this is his sexual assault charge by it's first degree by force and fear. Then he has a grand larceny in 2003. Then we have the marriage license with Holly from May 25th of 2022. Then we have the soliciting sexual conduct or communication with a minor by use of technology, September 29th, 2017. And also obtaining cash or merchandise by bogus check or false pretenses. Let's see what I can pull up on this one, because I did look at a few, but not all of them, because I figured we'd look together anyways. So the initial appearance was, this is over the getting in trouble in jail. The warrant was issued on September 29th, initial appearance November 16th. Motion to accelerate a jury trial all the way back in 2019. Wow. Jury trial. I mean, they were... I just can't believe this still still hadn't been taken care of. It's unbelievable, you guys. It just, I don't know how you get in trouble in jail like this and you get out and you go on to look at the Twitter. Look at the things I showed you guys a little bit ago. I mean, bold, out in the open, under his real name. He also had the Twitch account and he was streaming on there. Everything's gone. Wonder why. Wonder why everything's gone. This is when they got their marriage license. We have Holly Guess and Jesse McFadden. Let's see. Cost them $50. Let me see what you guys are saying down here. History shows you cannot rehabilitate SOs. A shuttle to the sun is kinder than my suggestions. I agree. The reason a lot use motels as their residence is that this is a crap motel on the edge of a town or city, and the only place they can stay because of the schools. You know what? That's so interesting because I was reading about like this area that he's in, and they were saying like a very high percentage of the town was too close to schools or kids, you know, events for sex offenders to live in. So they all live in this, in other areas. You know, they have to live in a very small, like 20% of the town or something. I don't remember what I was saying, Wolfie, that you're talking about. There are sites just for that lifestyle and what may be on them from him. I know. It's scary. It's really scary. So also, you guys, another thing, his first UPS is pulling up here. It's going to be loud. I'm sorry, you guys. Hold on. Why have they got a beep? But his first, the person that he actually spent almost 20 years in jail over, that he did get a 20-year sentence. He spent 17 of that. But she went on the Pascal show, and it was really interesting. She was talking about, basically, it started because they were talking about, she was told at one point she may never be able to have children because of what he did to her. And Pascal's like, well, you know, don't say anything graphic, but he was trying to get more details without getting too graphic. And he's like, did he use objects? And she said, yeah. She said, as a matter of fact, the things that were in that video looked very much like the things that I remember him using with me. Like he chained her up and things like that. If you guys missed that, I shared it on my community tab. You definitely want to check it out. Amber says, wonder why he ended it himself. Didn't want to go back to prison. That's what I think. That is what I think. Oh, thank you. Carla, thank you so much. Hold on, let me get it. Your investigation into this is much appreciated. We don't know how to fix these kinds of things if we don't know about them. So thank you. Oh, thank you, Carla, so much. I appreciate that. UPS pulled up here in my driveway to deliver to the neighbors. They didn't even bring a package. What in the hell? I think he didn't want to go back too, because let me go back to something really quick. This is, let me see. I'll just read it for a minute because it's about, let me make sure. It's about with the message this girl right when all this was happening. Basically, I'm not going back. But when they found a lot of letters from him to this girl that he met in prison, she accidentally messaged his phone number. And like I said, he was opportunistic and he took that and preyed on her. But it says the burning questions most people have asked. Where was Jesse McFadden's probation officer? According to the State Department of Corrections, he wasn't on probation, but he was required to check in with the Okmulgee County Sheriff's Office every 90 days. A county investigator compared those checks to playing darts. McFadden is accused of killing his wife of less than a year, her 3 children, and 2 other teens who were at his home for a sleepover and then a day trip to McAllister. Inside the home, the family found 3 cell phones, 2 laptops, drug paraphernalia, a separate phone, and a check signed by McFadden's wife made out to a local storage unit company. I still would love to know about that. I hope that they went to that storage unit. The Webster family confirmed one of the phones belonged to Ivy. McFadden was convicted of rape and sentenced to 20 years in 2003. During that same sentence, he concurrently served 8 years for grand larceny. During McFadden's time in prison, he was considered a level 4 inmate. So look here, remember, just for a second to go back, here's that grand larceny charge that from 2003 that he served concurrently. Okay. State statute dictates Oklahoma Department of Corrections base an inmate's incarceration on a level system that determines custody level, job status, program status, and privileges. The level system encompasses multiple criteria, including behavior and attitude, program and education assignments, and general hygiene. It states for a level 4 inmate, McFadden had to have maintained an outstanding attitude and relationship with staff and other inmates. That's a quote. McFadden was a level 4 inmate for most of his incarceration. However, he was assigned to a level 1 in January 2019 following his misconduct occurring in December of 2016. His inmate status was downgraded because he was caught with contraband cell phone officials say he used to text a teenage girl. According to court documents, the photos of the victim appeared to be in different stages of undress. The conversations between McFadden and the victim also reflected sexually themed conversations. The phone also contained explicit photos of McFadden. He was charged in 2017 with the count of soliciting sexual conduct or communication with a minor by use of technology and a count of child pornography. Both are considered felonies. He returned to a level 4 only 5 months later. 5 months later. Inmate Jesse McFadden was sentenced to 20 years. He had to serve no less than 85% of his sentence, which is a minimum of 17 years. Inmates are given credit for time served within county jails, despite still facing 2 charges related to child pornography. However, and we watched the video of Justin, Ivy Webster's dad, asking who's supposed to be checking in on them. And the investigator says, it's public record. It's everywhere. Like, basically, you do it. Okay. In the family's search for answers, they found 200 plus copies of letters and journal entries written by McFadden to his second victim. She must have been 15 or 16 when McFadden wrote the letters. They detailed how much he loved her and wanted to marry her, and also explained sexual acts he would perform on her. He kept saying, "I'm doing everything to get out sooner." So it says the DA got caught up with the prosecutor breaking an ankle, the pandemic, things like that. But a final date was set May 1st, 2023. That same day, and this is the text he sent the girl the whole reason that got us started on this. So he sends a text to the girl that says, I did it, or a Facebook message from Holly's account, I suppose. It was Holly Days. It says, I did exactly what I promised I would do when I got out. I got a marketing job making great money and was being advanced. I've been there 2 years now and made a great life I promised I would do with you. Now it's all gone. I told you I wouldn't go back. This is all on you for continuing this. So yeah, he was he was blaming her. And he was basically saying, because You are taking me to court and you want to keep going with this. You're the reason that everybody lost their lives. I told you, I'm not going back. This is on you. It seemed to me he was blaming her for his situation for continuing the criminal case against him, said Joe Prentice, the police chief. The victim told NBC News she read the message as McFadden blaming her for the killings because she refused to back down from the child pornography and soliciting sexual conduct with minor charges. Justin, Ivy's dad, says, I feel let down. We've all been failed. It says Thompson told K4 registered sex offenders such as McFadden are allowed to live with their own children and stepchildren as long as they're not a victim of the offender. However, they are supposed to notify the Oklahoma Department of Human Services if they do. News 4 reached out to DHS to see if McFadden notified them. State and federal confidentiality laws prevent us from releasing the names of any reporting party. But, you know, we saw the paperwork where he did list them as stepchildren. News 4 went back to the McFadden's property Wednesday morning, 24 hours before. There was no crime scene take. A white Dodge Charger was missing, and the front gate was wide open. On Wednesday, the front gate was closed. It was locked, and on the front of the gate, there was a sign that said no trespassing. So that is that, you guys. That's kind of everything that I'd gathered for us to look at. If you came in late and you missed the beginning, you definitely want to go back because we found his Twitter. We found him, I think I added one screenshot here. We found him, you know, trying to meet up with people online. And he has a certain, he's attracted to a certain type of teenager, basically, and you'll see that what we looked at, you'll see that kind of show through. Carrie, the judge, parole board, probation officer, or whoever was responsible for letting these sick fucks out should be held accountable if a crime is committed after release. There is no excuse for this. I agree. I completely agree. Before we go, I want to, you guys, if you hadn't been here before when we talked about this, why do you think? So here is some images of each victim and Jesse and the wounds. So we know that Jesse and Holly were found with Tiffany and Michael. So Tiffany and Michael both had 2 gunshot wounds. Holly had 3. They were all found together with Jesse. Then we have the 3 other girls that were found about 100 to 150 yards apart from each other in another part of the property. I still am driving myself crazy wondering why is there a different number of gunshot wounds? Why were they found the way they were found, all spread out? You know, and let me show you, because Woofy and I put together this video to show using the news and measurements and stuff like that to show. And we used part of this here because you see this 4-wheeler trail, you see their cops back there, the cop cars back there. Watch.
Whereabouts were they found?
Ivy, Brittany, and Riley were found separately, approximately 150 to 150 yards apart from each other, and approximately a quarter of a mile southeast of the McFadden residence.
So Ivy, Brittany, and Riley, this is the house up at the top. They were found, you know, somewhere in here spread out. We chose this particular angle because of the 4-wheeler path, the creek right here, the wood piles. You can see one here, and you see those same markings in the news footage, and I'll show that again before we go. But it's interesting. We have 3 victims spread out here, a football field apart from each other, or 1.5 football fields. 100 yards is a football field. That's quite a distance. And then the rest of them all together down here.
A mile southeast of the main residence. The other 4 decedents were found together approximately 450, 500 yards east and a little bit south of where the 3 girls were found. And they were all together.
The victims found in what?
So I don't know. I'm really curious. I want to know why. Is this one of the things we'll never know? Just like the why did Letitia, what started everything with Gannon? What did she cover up? With the carpet initially, what did she need to cover up with the candle wax? There's just certain things we will never know in cases, and it drives you crazy. So here's the news footage where we see the cop cars and the 4-wheeler trail, just showing you why we chose the particular angle that we did. Here you see it again, the cop cars back in this area by the creek. There's a wood. Here is on Google Maps, that same area. There's the wood and the creek. And then we have these photos from the news. Now, this is them out there, investigating the crime scene. And you can still see the wood pile, the creek. There's a tarp out there for some reason. And you can see that again in this aerial footage with the side-by-side and all the investigators' vehicles. So if we look at where the investigators' vehicles are, that's kind of gives you the exact angle, at least where probably one of the victims were found. But remember, those 3 were spread out really far from each other, which is just, I don't know. I just don't know. Let me see. And here's another version of that where we had to point over to the right a little bit because, it's going to vary. But like I said, because of those photos, we had a pretty good idea of where at least one part of this crime scene took place. But anyways, you guys, if you haven't seen the new stuff with Lori Vallow, number 1, her new mugshot came out. And number 2, I shared on my community page a video of her niece, like dancing and stuff. It is quite interesting. I hope Bendy will go over it because, yeah, I don't know. If you guys haven't seen that, check it out. Hey, Katie K. TARP is to give privacy first. I wondered that, Elizabeth. Or if, for other, I don't know. Oh, thank you, Amber. Hey, Allie, happy Monday. All right, you guys. Well, thank you guys for being here. Oh, is Nay here? Hey, Nay. Hey, Parker. Good to see you. They did go to storage. It was just normal stuff. Oh, thank you, Jeannie. I hadn't seen that. I do too, Parker. I really do. I think they need FBI to be involved. I know that the OSBI is, which they're taking, that's a little more serious in the Okmulgee. The names of their towns are like tongue twisters. Level 4 is actually pretty good, Vicky. That means he was having good behavior. Oh, thank you, Jesse. Thank all you guys for being here. I love and appreciate you so much. Lots of small details I didn't know. I always try to do that. I want my content to be unique. I don't want to play the same old thing anybody else is playing so I try to dig and find little things I haven't seen anywhere. That's always the goal. The problem is if you're unique on this platform, your style will get copied. And I've seen that a lot. There's nothing you can do about it. It's frustrating, but it is what it is. But regardless, I always want to bring you guys some, new information, something interesting to look at, something to make you think, something to keep the conversation going while remaining factual, respectful, and all of that kind of stuff. So, Mama Bear, apparently they are helping is what I've heard, but I don't know that to be truthful. But, oh, I see it too, Woofy. Trust me. But anyways, let's see. Question. Are they investigating for charges or to see if there's more victims or unknown Cynthia? Yes. So the OSBI, before we end, I'll show you guys the last statement we got from police, which is, to me, it's really all we can trust. You know what I mean? It just is. Let me see if I can grab it quickly. I know I have it here, but they basically said that they're going to make sure they know what happened. They want to find out exactly what led up to this, what happened during the event, and what, yeah. So hopefully took evidence from the home, sends dive teams. I know I had their new statement, but I just don't know. Here it is. No, that was the Department of Corrections. Dang it. I know where it's at. Avi Webster's family attorney shared the statement, I believe. So let me see if I can just grab that, and we'll end with that. This is what we factually know is happening in the investigation right now. Just a second, you guys. He tweets a lot. So, come on now. OSBI issue statement. There it is. This way you leave here with the, now we know exactly what the investigation, what's happening right now and what they've said. They said the OSBI serves as the lead criminal investigative agency in Oklahoma through partnerships with other federal, state, county, and local law enforcement. With original jurisdiction in limited crimes, the OSBI is jurisdictionally available by request to our partners to assist in various capacities, including investigative specialty services, partial and full investigations. On Saturday, May 6th, Okmulgee County DA requested the OSBI provide full investigative assistance and assume the lead role in the continuing investigation regarding the homicides of Holly, Tiffany, Michael, Riley, Avi, and Brittany at the hands of Jesse McFadden. The OSBI and our law enforcement partners recognize there is a tremendous amount of information being publicly presented from a variety of sources as it relates to this case. In tragedies such as this, when families and communities are grieving and looking for answers, the rapid flow of information and in some instances speculation can lead to misinformation being widely disseminated. Since the misinformation can be a distraction to the families and friends working to navigate their grief or may compromise the investigation, the OSBI does want to furnish the following facts to help provide clarification and prevent further spread of misinformation. Since May 6th, the OSBI has been communicating with the involved families, working to keep them informed on the progress and priorities in this case, and tirelessly processing items, conducting interviews, searching additional locations and property, and obtaining intelligence and documentation. Many of the investigative efforts have occurred with the support of other law enforcement agencies, including the Dam Authority, the DA's office, the medical examiner, ATF, the Bureau of ATF. The investigative process is ongoing and will be lengthy, but is an attempt to determine what led up to and occurred during this incident. The work is also to discern whether there are other potential victims or suspects not yet identified. While OSBI is aware there is information circulating that does not represent investigative facts, we will not attempt to address each aspect of the miscommunications. It says investigations with the OSBI are confidential and they can't release information. You know, Moscow police did that. They had the little rumor section on their website, and I thought that was incredibly helpful. But whatever. This helps ensure the confidentiality and integrity of each investigation. As we move through the investigation, the OSBI will continue to consider all available information and will conduct additional investigative activity necessary to evaluate information veracity. Anyone who has information relevant to this investigation may call the tip line or email. Those providing information will remain anonymous. OSBI understands that at the culmination of this investigation, there will be many facets, I don't know how to say that, of the case that will need to be addressed. Some of these are not under the purview of the OSBI, but for those that are, we will attempt to address them within our statutory guidelines. Future official updates regarding the progress of the investigation will be provided by the OSBI or the DA's office via a subsequent press release or on official websites. Going forward, we continue to work with the family and law enforcement partners. We ask for continued support of the family and friends of Holly, Tiffany, Michael, Riley, Abby, and Brittany. So they are going to try to find out what happened. And, you know, hey, Crime Curious, how are you? All right, you guys. So I'm going to let you go. I love you guys and I appreciate you all. Thank you, David. That's okay, J Cubed. You definitely want to rewind this one though, because we already started leaving a few minutes ago, but there was a lot of good information that we went through. Aw, thank you, Carrie. I never get to watch you live, but was able to listen while working today. Thanks for making the time go by quick. Aw, I love all of you guys listening while you're working, letting your day go by faster. I love to listen to YouTube while I do stuff too, because if you're thinking about that, I don't know, it does make time go by a lot faster. Oh, Woofy, I've seen straight up using the exact same. Oh, it's very frustrating, but it is what it is. Hey, Melissa Jade. Okay, you guys, I love you all. I appreciate you. I hope you have a great day. And I will see you soon. Thanks for being here. And yeah, all the love to all my moms for Mother's Day yesterday and anybody who's doing the mom role, you know, and a special hello to all my people that are sneaking and listening at work because I love that. Okay, have a good day. Bye.